Hello? Hello? There's another stream. You can't restart a dead stream, so I have to put a link in the chat. We should be running now though. Hello, if anybody's here. I see. Can't see if there's anybody here yet. If anybody is, they're listening to my screen reader read really loud. Hello, if anybody is here. Sorry about that. My internet connection died, so I've had to hotspot from my phone. If anybody is here and you can copy the link into the previous chat, that'd be amazing. I'm just waiting for my wife to return with more questions. She tells me that she's been answering questions about me, so I'm sure it's all not true. That's probably true. What, after you ran me into the lamppost? Right, my wife is en route. I'm trying to work out how much I can bill Virgin Media for. Hello. Excellent. Hi, everybody. Oh, whilst somebody, whoever we decide to have asked the best question, will, at the end of the stream, will win one of the Swiss Army pens, as mentioned in Brainblaze several videos and demonstrated in the video where I took a computer apart. I have one in stock left. Two, actually, but I promised I'd send one to Simon. Yep. Very well. If I do my top button up, the microphone will stay closer to my face. Yes, my wife is great, Sophie V. I couldn't have got this far with the channel or most things without her. Hello to everybody. Oh, I said everybody said hello in the chat. So the second chat. Sorry, guys, if you have to watch adverts again to get in. Coffee, not a ninja. This is my work coffee cup. And I have several of those through the day. I do like tea, but coffee I drink more of, much more of. I have a nice bean to cup coffee machine. You just pour the beans in the top, hit the button, and coffee happens. So yes, not a ninja. Coffee over tea. Let's just make that be quiet. My wife's just pulling up the screenshots from the previous chat for the questions that I missed. Thanks all for coming back, by the way. I really appreciate it. Moppety says, have I ever been interested in trying a tabletop role-playing game such as Dungeons and Dragons? I haven't really, not that I've thought of, but if there were if someone was running an online version, I might give it a go. I've played Cards Against Humanity. Does that count? Pardon? Yes. Okay. My wife says the point of a tabletop version is that it's not online. And people were playing Dungeons and Dragons online all the time throughout the pandemic. Spirit Wolf, what's my favorite knife to wield in the kitchen? I have a tendency to use the nearest knife. But my wife, who's a fully trained chef, has an answer to the question, and I shall relay it to you. Bear with me. What is your answer? She likes a what? Say it again. Santoku knife. There you go. Who's that from? Gonzo says, do you charge more for bigger words in scripts? No. Simon pays by the word. It doesn't matter the length of the word, but a is a word, for example, so it balances itself out. Jan Brooke, thank you. John Brooke, sorry. John Brooke, thank you very much. I appreciate it. He said, I do. Oh, Katie Watson. Katie Watson, boxers or briefs? Yes, I do wear boxers or briefs. Boxers. Mr. Mulch Hamilton says, when you're out in public, what are some things that I wish people would stop doing because I'm blind? There are two things, A-frames, three things. When people put those foldy A-frame signs outside their shops, I hate those, just because you live somewhere for a while, you build up a mental map of where you're going, and then the pathway changes. That's quite annoying. Do not ever, and this is an important thing, and I'm not particularly fussy when it comes to things that people do or don't do, but when people grab my stick, it's called a bat in our house, but the correct term is a long cane. It's the equivalent to walking up to somebody and holding their glasses. Just don't do that. But I think the thing that annoys me the most is if I'm out with somebody else and we interact with a third, and that person talks to the person I'm with rather than to me. Like, it's a simple thing. Like, we could be in a coffee shop and the waiter might ask my wife what I want rather than talking to me, or It's happened in the bank before. The pardon? I said both things. Sorry. Yeah, could be in the bank, and that's happened before. And they said, "Oh, can he sign for himself?" To my wife, like, I'm right here. But yeah, I think that's the thing that irritates me the most. But I like to think I'm pretty easygoing. You really can't hear me. How's that? Is that any better? I'm trying to look at the camera and have the microphone in the right place. Hopefully that's a bit louder. I can't put the microphone any closer to my mouth, I don't think. No. There isn't, not without... But I was quite far away from the mic, and now I'm not, so... I'll break the rules of wireless microphones, and I'll hold it here like this. Michael, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, we're just finding the next question. Okay. Sorry, Spirit Wolf said... Who said my favorite creamer? I see. We tend to have milk. I like half and half, though. When I'm in America, I exclusively drink half and half. But yeah, we just use milk or actual cream on occasion. Okay. Not a ninja. I will check that out. The tabletop game you recommended. Sailors. My weirdest experience as a landlord. I have two. One of them was more serious, and the other one was hilarious. But we had the local Alcoholics Anonymous come in during the day and ask if they could use our function room for their meeting. The way the pub was laid out, to get to the function room, you had to walk through the entire length of the bar. We declined them on the grounds that their idea was stupid. But yes, the other time, the other thing, we had I can't remember what they were called, but a group of local mediums came in because the building was very, very old, and they wanted to hire the function room for their monthly spiritual meeting. So I was showing them around, and there was a little bit that had been added onto the back of the pub, but that was only probably 10 years old, but had been built in the style of the old stables and stuff. So with low ceilings and beams and stuff. So as we entered that part of the building, this lady could say, "Oh, it said you can feel the spirits in this room. It's clearly the oldest part of the pub." And I was just like, "Yeah, it's yeah." But it was the very, very newest part of the pub. And as they were leaving, she said to us, "Yes, we'd like to rent the space. Clearly, the place is filled with spirits." And one of the regulars said, "Yes, they're all behind the bar," which caused somewhat of a chuckle. I wouldn't say they were weird necessarily, but two pub experiences for you. Next question. Sophie V. Apart from Katie, do you keep in touch